Hi, my name is Kerry Barron. I'm a student here at JTech, and I'm going to show you how to do some fuel pressure testing. Alright, so on this one here, the fuel line actually has a Schrader valve that you can thread on to your fuel pressure gauge, which is this right here. This has a pressure relief valve on it, so when you have pressure on it, you can actually relieve all the pressure out of this hose before you disconnect it. And that you would put into that clear tube you'd put into a bottle so you could catch all the fuel or something, something of that matter. Now, there's 5 different tests that you can do. You can do a static test, a running test, a dynamic test, and a residual test, as well as a deadhead test. The static test is when you turn the key on with the engine off, and what you want to see with that is to see if the pump can actually fill up the fuel rail, see if it even gets any pressure. Go ahead and turn the key on for me. Alright, and as you can see, as it was priming, the pump was pumping about 58 psi, and now it's running about 50 psi of fuel pressure. Now, the next test would be a residual test, which in that test you turn the key off, and once the key is off, you watch and see if the fuel pressure drops any. Turn the key off. Alright, so now that the key is off, you can see that the fuel pressure stays exactly the same, which means that there's no internal leak or external leak with this fuel system. The next test would be a running test. You would do a running test to see if the fuel pump can maintain pressure while the engine is running. You want it to stay about the same PSI as the residual or the static test. Turn the engine on for me. And as you can see, it is running at a constant 50 to 52 psi, which is great. It means it's running good, and fuel pressure is staying the same. So that means it's got good pressure and everything. That's what it expects. Alright, the next test will be a dynamic pressure test. That is when you do snap throttle test, and the pressure will go up, and it should go up and then drop a couple of pounds below the specification, and then settle back down after the throttle is released. Alright, go ahead with the dynamic test. Alright, as you can see, it did just what it was supposed to do. That way, and now that you've seen that, you know that it can, the pump can keep its pressure and keep up with the injectors as the injectors open all the way up there in wide open throttle. So that means the whole fuel system is working in proper order. Now the last test would be a deadhead pressure test, and with a deadhead test you would only do that with a returnless or return type system, because with a returnless system it's regulated before the pump, before it gets to the pump. With a returnless system you can regulate at the fuel pump itself. The pressure is not regulated, so you can see what the pump itself can push without any regulation to it at all.